What's going on, guys? How y'all doing tonight? Southern Guy here, and welcome to exclusive WWE SmackDown Live review results and reaction for SmackDown Live December 11th, 2020, right here on the channel and the podcast. This is the official podcast of me, Southern Guy, right here on YouTube.com. If you ain't subscribed, please do so now. Right here at Southern Guy, right here on the official Southern Guy podcast. Hit that little thumbs up, start to subscribe with I upload a review. If you ain't seen the latest podcast reviews, go check them out now on the podcast at Southern Guy. Right here, the official podcast for Southern Guy, which is me. So go check out the official latest reviews I did from Monday Night Raw. It's up on the channel on the podcast, as well as AEW Dynamite with Sting was interviewed. He talked for the first time at Shaquille O'Neal interview as well. So go check out all those right now on the channel. Monday Night Raw, AEW I did for this past week, and now we're covering SmackDown to wrap up the week. WWE's planning big stuff for WrestleMania. No, The Rock will not compete at WrestleMania this year in 2021. It will be likely 2022 before The Rock officially comes back to the WWE to compete once the audience is back, the fans are back in attendance. But we're gonna go over the SmackDown Live tonight for the 11th, 2020. This official start of the SmackDown for opened up for Tropicana Field in St. Petersburg, Florida. Michael Cole welcomes. We'll go right down to the contract signing between takes place between Sasha Banks introduced Carmella Banks, but Banks immediately stops the signing. She is upset over the fact that the contract is not on the folder. Banks asks Peters if it's something kind of upset. Carmella appears on the big screen and says that she has the contract, and has signed it. And there's a man standing next to me to be her, said her message boy asks the man to take the contract to Banks to have it signed. Banks insults Carmella. Carmella goes on to talk about saying that there was no way she was getting in the ring with Banks tonight. And they have words over their TLC match, and Banks talks about stretching Carmella and making her cry. And the man comes walking down to the ring. Carmella comes back down to the ring, the ramp with the contract. He enters the ring and hands it to Pierce as Carmella and Banks continue arguing. Banks signs the contract with her ball stamp. Banks said that if Carmella wants the title, come out there and get it tonight. Carmella says that that sounds like a plan. Peter says that sounds like a big event. That makes it official. Carmella versus her was made. Banks then goes on, get a preview of how the match will go on. She slaps the message guy, beats him up, dropping him with a backstabber, and then turning the table over on him. Banks raises the title as the music plays. We got Keith Calabrax did interview backstage with tag team champions Street Profits. She asks Dolph about Ziggler about calling them the funny. We got Angelo Dawkins mentions Rude possibly getting involved and getting slapped. The Street Profits are up and they want the smoke. We get one-on-one match tonight. Dolph Ziggler versus Tez Ford. We see the winner of this match between a block, zag forward with the kick to the back of the neck. We see Rude launches Dawkins onto the steel ring steps and takes advantage and knocks Ford off the top rope. Super kick Ford for the pin and the win. Dolph Ziggler defeats Montez Ford 1-on-1 for the second time in a row. I believe they deserve a tag team title shot. I don't know about you, but I believe it. We got still to come what happened with Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens last week. WWE Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn is ranting about a merchandise guy who Big E walks in when Sammy isn't happy with Big E at his new shirt. He didn't get one. Apollo Crews and Kalisto are in the background talking with Tamina. Snuka, Big E calls Apollo over to bring over the shirt they had created for Sami Zayn, and it's just a joke. Sammy gets upset and stormed off as Big E taunts him. We get Sami Zayn versus Big E 1-on-1 in a 1-on-1 match tonight. Big E and Sam Zayn, now Big E at the bell ring, runs with the rope, splash. Finally we see Big E levels him with a big clothesline. Sam counters into the corner, rolls up Big E for 2. Finally then Big E gets but Big E crawls after him, the referee counts. Sami Zayn comes out of under the ring on the other side, stomping on Big E. Sami runs back into the ring and beat the count. Winner Big E is counted out. Winner by countout wins the match, Sami Zayn. After the bell rings, the fans boo. Sami Zayn retreats to the floor when Big E comes after him. A furious Big E wants to fight, but as Sami raises the title, he makes his exit. Bayley's backstage, talks about well wishes to Carmella ahead of her backstage with Sasha Banks 1-on-1 for the SmackDown Women's title. We see the BTS gun Blair confront Bayley and ask her why her name is in her bio. Again, when she needs to worry about herself, Bayley insults Bayley and looks to pull out the recipes for right now. Bayley doesn't want to hear it and just walks off. We got Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. We got back for the break. Kayla Braxton interviews Sasha Banks. Think that the boss of Carmella is untouchable. It goes on about the women's championship. Heyman looks on tonight and being disrespectful. Carmella calls her messenger guy over, Tommy, tells him to sit her champagne up at ringside so she can toast while watching Banks tears fall. We got Reigns tells Uso to get to him while Kevin Owens throws his head. We got Roman Reigns and TLC has a few friends. Owens' family fight hit for him also, but he is a part of the industry to support them. And by watching at home, Owens says that his family won't be able to physically help him at TLC, and his friends there to help. Owens introduced his friend to the table. He cut the promo how his friend each will help him at TLC. Owens standing at the top of the ladder. It says Reigns can't keep head of the table because at TLC he will do what it takes to get back to the top of the ladder and become Universal Champion. While we're seeing Uso is down and drives Uso's face first into the ladder. Owens then pops Owens through the table, pop-up power bomb, and fans cheer. Then we see taunts Reigns, go at Reigns, marching at Reigns with him at the chair, looking for Reigns. Kayla stops her, comments on Owens, yelling back at Reigns. Suddenly Reigns drops him with a chair shot by the back and sends Owens into the fencing and continues to beat on him while he's down. Reigns talks some trash and keeps insulting him. And the high chief said, "You want to put the roof over your head, the food on your table, if you don't talk to some sense to your daddy and your husband." And then Reigns goes on to be the guy that takes the food off the table. We see Owens struggling to get back up. Oh, Reigns stops talking and kicks Owens in the head. Reigns is look back at Carmella. We get the Riot Squad versus Billy Kay and Natalya, the reformed Riot Squad. Winners of this match, we seen Natalya. Kay ends up getting double teamed. After Natalya was kicked off the apron, Riot Squad hits the Riot kick on Kay to pin the win. The Riot Squad defeats Natalya and Billy Kay. After the match, Natalya Kay throws a fit at ringside with Natalya as Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott celebrate. We get Otis in a video. Chad Gable helping Otis in his usual training at the Performance Center earlier in the week, working on him. Also, we got him. We get Chad Gable. We got Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Otis and Chad Gable at a tag team match. Otis goes to look for the Caterpillar, but Gable wants to be tagged in. Gable fouls off the top, but Cesaro blocks it. Hits him with the Cesaro swing with ease as fans booed. Nakamura counts. Cesaro drops the Gable on his head, and Nakamura tags in and waits for the Gable to get up. Nakamura nails the Kachasta. It covers for the pin to win. Winners Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Otis and Chad Gable. After the match, Otis has been posed in the middle of the ring. So the kid Otis on the apron looking disappointed. We got back from break. WWE announced Talking Smack. Big E, Street Profits, Paul Heyman, Caleb Braxton, all hostess. We got Otis backstage, so they did want to tag him in. He goes on to say that the best tag failed. Gable says Otis is okay, and all being a part of the Alpha. It's teaching Otis what to do by swinging him, what not to do. Teaching him and what to not do. We get SmackDown Women's Tag Team title match. SmackDown Women's title match back from break. Next week will be Bayley versus Bianca Belair. What I was back for the Carmella and them going in it for the title. 2 count. Carmella kicks deck dive powerbomb for 2. Carmella gets right into the code of silent submission. But it's slowly locked in. Resist goes on. Bank statement. Tries to for the bottom. The ref is broken. The Messenger Boy smiling, but they call him. Tries to help from ringside. Puts the bottle in the ring, but the referee grabs it and then pulls Banks out of the ring to the floor while the referee isn't looking. Breaking her submission. Banks chasing him. It comes back in the ring brawling with Carmella. Banks unloads, beats Carmella down the corner, and the referee calls for the bell as Banks won't let up. Winner by qualification, Sasha Banks. After the bell, comes in from behind, grabs Banks again,